What's this? Th0m4s575 finally releases his review for Borderlands? Whatever took so long? Well, that's exactly how long it took for me to find a copy of Borderlands out there. Because the movie is hated so much, there's barely anywhere that is selling the movie. It took us a really long time to find a copy of Borderlands. We were extremely lucky just to find a copy out there. And I know what some of you are thinking. Well, why not just order a copy off online? Well, that's because the copies of Borderlands cost way too much money. So we had to try and find one somewhere out there in the open, like in a store. And it doesn't help that some stores are no longer selling movies. So, yeah. Anyways, Borderlands. So, when I first saw the trailers for Borderlands, I thought there could be some hope for the movie. Sure, there are a few changes that differ from the game, and some of the casting sounded meh, but we decided to give it a chance because, overall, it looked like it followed the original story with a few minor changes. And, since it was being made by the same producers who produced Uncharted, we gave it a chance. And, well, here's the thing. So originally, when I saw the trailer, I thought it read from the producers of Uncharted, but it actually said from the producer of Uncharted, meaning only one of the producers was involved in the project. To be fair, I was kinda right. Well, me and Richard were kinda right because half of the producers who produced Uncharted also produced Borderlands. So we weren't technically off, but we probably should have proofread the text that was in the trailer so that we could make sure to get our info right. So I'm gonna go oops on that, but don't worry, that will definitely be something that will be remedied in the future. So Borderlands is it's full of shit. Okay, and yeah, not real surprising, but the movie was kind of shit. Mainly because of the poor performances and some story changes, and downright including way too many movie exclusives. So, anyways, let's get right on to the review. So, I'm gonna be alone this time because Richard and I have different takes on the movie. So, this time, the review is gonna be on my own. So, without further ado, let's get started with the review, which is what you all came here for. Oh yeah, and if this doesn't need to be said, or if this needs to be said, spoiler warning ahead. Click away from this video now if you have not seen the movie and do not want to be spoiled. If you are still watching the video, then that means that you are agreeing to be spoiled or that you have seen the movie already and want to proceed. So, I'll give you some time to click away from the video if you have not watched the movie. So, go right ahead. Okay, spoiler warning is officially over, so it's time to get onto the full-on spoiler reviews. So, let's get started. So, to start off, we open with narration, which, to be fair, a lot of video game movies have done before. But, you know, opening narration isn't really bad. It's okay, you know? So so the thing about that I like about the opening is that it gives us the context of what the movie is all about. That there's a vault somewhere on the planet Pandora that was lost by the civilization known as the Iridians, and a lot of groups had been made to find the vault that's on Pandora. And on top of that, some of the groups even went insane. Some even calling themselves, like here are a few examples: psychos, bloodshots, etc. And the opening says that only a daughter of Iridia is able to open the vault. And yeah, here is where the movie officially begins. We see the only one who is able to open the vault, a movie exclusive called Tiny Tina. And oddly enough, I thought her name was pronounced Tina because it's spelled Tina, right? So you would think it's pronounced Tina, but no, it's Tina because there's an I instead of an E. So yeah, that is yeah, and then we get into one of our main protagonists, which is Roland. So what I like about the opening is, well, okay, I kind of don't like the moment where Roland takes off his helmet and says, "God damn, I can't breathe in this thing," or whatever it was he said. Mainly because I don't think they should interrupt the tense scene with comedy. Yeah, that's something that I've noticed in a lot of video game movies is that they try to tone down the intensity of the scene and um try to tone it down with comedy, and I don't like how they do that. It's kind of like, why do they do that? This is a similar case with the Super Mario Brothers movie. The tension rises and then is immediately shot down. So, yeah, if this is also gonna happen with Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and a Minecraft movie, then don't then why do they do that? Okay? So anyway, moving on. So one of the psychos that was being trapped on the space station. Oh yeah, the place they're on is on a space station, by the way, if you don't know that already. Um, yeah, another thing that bothers me about the opening is the fact that Tina says the psycho's name, which is Krieg. And okay, oddly enough, the same thing that was with Tina's name pronunciation also applied to Krieg, because Richard and I both thought that his name was pronounced Cryeg. Yeah, okay, so for future reference to anyone who's making any video game movies, um try to say the names of the characters that in the trailers, so that way we know how to pronounce them when the movie comes out, and don't just like hold it off until the movie is released, because it's yeah. Anyways, so anyways, Tina mutters Krieg's name, and then Roland somehow hears this, and then and then Roland and Krieg just work together to protect Tina. Anyways, time passes, and here is where we meet another one of our main protagonists, another one of the four main characters from the Borderlands games, Lilith. So Lilith's deal in this movie is that she is a bounty hunter, and she's trying to just survive since you know, it's a busy society. She's just trying to get some money and all that. You know, different people have different ways to try and earn some money because you know, currency is hard to earn, so you gotta do what you gotta do. And after a while, it's here where we meet our supposed antagonist of the movie, Deucalion Atlas. And you know, and when I saw Deucalion on screen for the first time, I thought to myself, why is a movie exclusive a villain in this movie? Or is this movie exclusive going to be the villain of the movie? Because because in the trailer it looked like this character would be a villain. So then okay, so then later on in the movie it's revealed that he is in fact the villain of the movie, and all he wants is the treasure that's inside the vault, or the whatever it is that's inside the vault on Pandora, and to try and use that and to try and sell that so that he can make more of a profit for his company. And it's like, why do we have another villain who's obsessed with greed? Like, we already have several villains that have nothing but greed. Okay, like examples in like, here's another example. Joe Braddock in the Uncharted movie. She just wanted the money. Okay, all she wanted was the money, which, okay, it's Uncharted, you know? But for Borderlands, it's like they're repeating the same formula for Uncharted. They're taking what they learned from Uncharted and trying to incorporate it into this movie. And since Uncharted is verified hot on the popcorn meter on Rotten Tomatoes, the producers probably thought, maybe if we try to repeat the same formula again for this movie, it could work. And oddly enough, it did not work. Okay, it did not work. Like, the movie is so badly rated. Okay. I won't bore you anymore with this. So, Deucalion tells Lilith about his supposed missing daughter, and that he needs her back, and then Lilith finds out that it's on Pandora, and she does not want to go back there, which suggests to the audience that she's been there before, and so she doesn't want to go. But then Deucalion pays Lilith to go there, and then Lilith is like, "Oh, okay, fine, I'll go there." But okay, so what is it with the characters in this movie and greed? How many characters in video game movies are obsessed with greed? Like, come on. Really? Okay, so Lilith goes on to Pandora and looks around to try and find Fertina and all of that, and here is where we meet Marcus, which is the guy that drives you around in the game. You know, the bus driver that's in the Borderlands game. Yeah, that's him. And surprisingly, this part of the movie was kind of one of my favorite parts of the movie. Actually, in fact, it's probably my only favorite part of the movie because this is practically the opening to Borderlands. But my only critiques here are this. Okay, so for one, I think that Mordecai and Brick should have been on the bus as well, because it shows that Marcus hasn't just been transferring one person at a time on a bus, but rather transferring multiple people at the same time. You know, kind of similar to the opening of Uncharted. And also, it would give a chance for Mordecai. And also, Mordecai and Brick would get their own cameos in the movie. And I actually made a poll about this on whether Mordecai or Brick would be and or Brick would be in the movie, considering they're the only Vault Hunters that we haven't seen yet. But nope, they're not there for whatever reason. Like come on, you couldn't even just throw them in a cameo. Like come on, there are a lot of Mordecai and Brick fans out there, right? Am I right? Anyways, the other thing I would change about the scene is Marcus playing the video on transferring Vault Hunters, considering or the Marcus's video on you trying to find the vault that's on Pandora. Um, Considering that's not what happens in the game, and I feel like they kind of just use that as comedic effect, and okay, I will admit it. I kind of do understand why they do that. One, it's for comedic purposes, and two, um, it's because that Marcus is transferring Vault Hunters, but they kind of overdo it with the "this bus is for transferring Vault Hunters" kind of thing. They kind of overdo that bit of info. Like it's like, hey, it's like, hey, this is what this is for. Hey, just reminding you, this is what this is for. Hey, reminding you again, this is what this is for. It's like they kind of just okay. And no matter how many times Lilith tries to convince Marcus that she isn't a Vault Hunter, Marcus still insists on calling Lilith a Vault Hunter. Um, but it's like, okay, dude. We get it already. This bus is for transferring Vault Hunters, but at the same time, you're transferring someone who isn't a Vault Hunter. So then, if she's not a Vault Hunter, then why don't you just kick her off the bus? It's like, come on already. Anyways, the scene after that actually shows us some Easter eggs, or rather, some new info about the character about Lilith and Roland. So Lilith and Roland's family names are actually shown in the movie. Lilith's family name being Cashlin, and Roland's family name being Greaves. And I think this is the first time in Borderlands history that we actually see Lilith and Roland's family names, because we never really learn on what their full names are. So it's kind of cool that they actually just drop that in the movie, even if it's hard to see. Which makes you think, if Mordecai and Brick were in the movie as well, what would their family names be? Okay, and this is why, and so the opening act is now over, and this is where we meet one of the worst characters in this movie. CL4PTP, aka Claptrap, aka played by Jack shitting Black, okay? Jack Black is playing CL4PTP. Okay, so there are a lot of people online that have been saying that Jack Black hated this movie as well as everyone else, but at the same time, you could have just quit, you know? Or actually, better yet, why did they cast this dude in another video game movie, okay? Like, the Super Mario Brothers movie was bad enough. Why are you trying to expand his property into this movie? Like, come on. Okay, and the reason why I say CL4PTP was one of the worst characters in this movie is this scene alone is enough to convince you that you're gonna hate this character. For one thing, it says the dash in its name. So CL4PTP's name is spelled CL4P-TP, not CL4PTP, and I think part of that reason why it says that is, I think probably Jack was reading off his lines and didn't know how to say robot model names and just said the dash. Okay, because in the game, they say CL4PTP, but in the movie, they say CL4P-TP. Okay, so then next up we have it just this robot thing just follows just won't listen and won't get to the point, and just tries to help out in any way it can, but all it does is just be annoying, you know. So then so after Lilith shoots it a couple of times, CL4PTP says that it's once it saw Lilith, it was programmed to follow her and help her out wherever she goes until she's dead. So then Lilith asks it if Dukelian Atlas sent it. But then that's just a straight up no. And then here is another one of its traits that I absolutely hate so fucking much. CL4PTP, aka Claptrap, sings in this movie! Why? Why? Sorry. Why? Just... Why? Why are they breaking me so much this year? Why am I being broken so much? It's bad enough that it's voiced by Jack Black, but to make it sing? Just why? Why in the hell do you make it sing? And this isn't the only part of the movie where it sings, by the way. It sings throughout the entire fucking movie. Okay? It sings throughout the movie. Because, you know, if Bowser sang in the Super Mario Brothers movie, then of course Th0m4s575's has to sing in this damn movie too. I'm one of the producers of Borderlands. Wait, no, sorry. Not the producer. I'm one of the people in charge of casting for Borderlands, and I say we cast Jack Black and Justin Murna's robot because I'm stupid and I like Jack Black so much because I don't have a brain cell. I don't have a single brain cell in my brain, and I'm just okay. Okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. Okay, I'm gonna give this message out to any people working on video game movies for future reference. To anyone who's making future video game movies, please do not cast Jack Black in them, as he will ruin your entire movie. Okay, thank you. Okay. Enough with the pleasant banteries. So anyways, enough of that. Enough about that rant. Okay, so after CL4PTP finds the location of Tina, they go there, and Lilith finds Tina in the place she's at, but then Tina just tries to kill Lilith because she's a bounty hunter and she likes it when bounty hunters drop by or whatever have you. So then she throws some bunny bombs, as I'm calling them. And okay, maybe she went a little insane while she was on Pandora, but they just made her into this. They just made her into this really annoying character who does nothing more than blow up shit, swear, and just get in the way of and overcomplicate things. Oh yeah, and also she's the only one who can open the vault and whatever have you. That's all the traits she has. And not a single one of them are memorable. Like none of okay, if there is a single person that likes this character in this movie, then you do not have know how to judge characters correctly. Okay, learn how to judge characters the proper way, and then we can talk. Okay. Anyways, then we meet Krieg again, who is, for some reason, Tina's brother. Wait, they're related. Okay, so so Krieg used to be one of the psychos, and now for some reason he's Tina's brother. I don't get it. What? That's not how relations work. Sorry. So anyways, Okay, so after a while, it's here where we meet yet another one of the antagonists of the movie, Commander Knox of the Crimson Lance. And okay, I like on how her character is portrayed. She wants to she wants justice to be served all across the galaxy and whatever have you. But at the same time, um, at the same time, we why do we have a secondary antagonist? Wasn't Deucalion Atlas enough? And I know what some of you are thinking, but he wasn't an antagonist until the end of the movie. And to that I say, yeah, but at the same time, you can't have too many villains in a movie because then you're basically trying to juggle the stories and arcs of two different characters in the movie. Okay, so then Roland appears to take Tina and everyone else, and then CL4PTP gets left behind because, of course, all this character is good for in this movie is for comedy. And you know what I said to that? Fuck the comedy in this movie and all that shit. And then just a giant chasing occurs with nothing interesting happening. Like, okay, all of the fight scenes in this movie I did not care for because okay, so I don't care for the fighting scenes in video game movies unless it's necessary. Okay, unless it's necessary to happen. This entire chase scene is completely unnecessary, and we don't learn anything new from it. Like, all it is just action action scene and then story dump and then action scene and then yeah. And I know what some of you are thinking, but isn't that what Uncharted is like? No. There is a distinct difference between Uncharted and Borderlands. Uncharted actually goes into depth with the character stories that they're telling in the movie, what their whole deal is, and why they're doing what they're doing. Okay, it's not just random scene after random scene like the Super Mario Brothers movie, and it's not action scene, or it's not action scene and then story dump and then action scene. No. The route that was taken for Uncharted, was as follows: action scene, then story dump, then emotional moment, and then more story, and then so on. They don't go into any action until the cross heist in the movie. Then that's where the action starts. But for Borderlands, it's like they try to immediately go into action as soon as possible. Like, it's like they made this movie for kids. And obviously this movie ain't for kids because it's rated PG-13. And of course, a lot of people are mad at the fact that this movie's rated PG-13 because it's not rated R. Because the games are rated M. And okay, I will admit, if the movie was rated R, maybe there would have been more of a chance for more story development and character arcs. But at the same time, you could have given more story in a PG-13 movie. Like, it doesn't matter what the movie is rated. What matters is what happens in the movie. And okay, so after a while, after driving through some pits and it's then Lilith and Roland then decide that they need to team up. And so they need to find a scientist who has one of the 3 keys to the vault. And after some after some scenes that were not really important to the story, it's here that we meet. A character that I was surprised to see in this movie, but is not supposed to be here, and that is Patricia Tannis, played by what was her name again? Oh yeah, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. And I will just say right now, Richard and I both agree on this, but it's like they want. It's like okay, so it's like that. How do I word this? It feels like they just wanted Jamie Lee Curtis to be in the movie, so they just shoehorn her into the movie, and it's like she's just there as a background character. Like, she doesn't have any importance to the story at all, which is kind of the same thing for some other characters, such as CL4PTP and Krieg. They're not characters that are important to the story. So, yeah, all Patricia Tannis is here for is to be there for whatever reason. Okay, so I won't bore you anymore with this. Let's move on. So now they have one of the 3 keys to the vault, and they find out that another one of the keys is somewhere underground. So they need to go to that place, and then just a whole bunch of unimportant stuff happens. That's not relevant to the plot in any way. So then they make it to the place. So then they run into Bloodshots, which was one of the many groups that I mentioned earlier. And okay, for some stupid reason, the people who were titling the videos on the Rotten Tomatoes YouTube channel thought that those fuckers were psychos, even though in the movie they clearly say Bloodshots. But it's like, hello, Earth to title makers. These guys are not psychos. Okay, I feel like this movie, I feel like the people who were titling the movie did not play the game and only focus on the movie. Okay, but anyways, I'm getting off topic here. So then they have the idea to have CL4PTP basically go in and distract the Bloodshots, and then for some stupid reason, Tina makes CL4PTP say something like, you bitches need to go and douse yourself in piss because you're a bunch of poopy shit ass faces, and then you need to die of poisoning, and I can't remember what it said exactly, but I think you get my point, right? Okay, so then eventually they go and find the place of. So then they find the warehouse where the second key is supposed to be. Yeah, and yeah, it's a giant warehouse. Finding the key could take forever, but for some stupid reason, Lilith gets lucky and finds the key on her first try. Okay, it's like you couldn't just have the key out in the open. You had to have a character rely on luck in order to find the key. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay. Okay, who wrote that scene? Okay, whoever wrote that scene, do not, if someone is searching for something, don't have it rely on luck. Instead, either have the object out in the open or have the character try and search for it in a hurry, and then eventually they'll find it, okay? Just don't have the character rely on luck and then have it get it on their first try, okay? Okay, so then after that, the Bloodshots rush in and try to kill everyone there because, of course, they want to see blood and all that shit. Okay, so so then eventually they find an elevator. They need to get out of there, but when you know it, the elevator does not work. So then they need to get it running up again. So then Patricia has the idea of using CL4PTP to restart the elevator, and essentially Roland gets left behind because he needs to distract the Bloodshots, or to try and hinder them at least. So then Roland manages to fix up the elevator, and Tina throws a bunny bomb named Bob at Roland, and so Roland throws it, and then essentially kills all the Bloodshots that are in the way, and yeah, rip Bob. It was just a doll. They really had to go there. Really. Anyways, the elevator is still launching up, and they're going so fast that they're probably gonna die. But then, all of a sudden, they get teleported to another location. And, yeah, for some reason, Tina is able to warp stuff with her mind. And, well, yeah, and then Lil throws up for comedic effect, which I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Just every time they try to do something intense, it's immediately underthrown by comedy. Okay, I'm almost done here. So after that, Patricia Tanis puts the two keys they found together into one. And this kind of contradicts what happens in the game, because the keys are all supposed to be separate. They're not supposed to become one key. And what's even worse is the fact that the third key is Tina. Okay, I get it when they say they need to change stuff that differ. They need to make some differences when it comes to adapting something, but changing something as major as this makes me want to give the movie whoever wrote this change for the movie the middle finger. It makes me want to just give them the straight middle finger. Okay. Okay, so after that, CL4PTP manages to fix up the beacon that Lilith that had broken earlier. Oh yeah, earlier on in the movie, Lilith accidentally broke the beacon that Deucalion and Atlas gave to her, and she needed CL4PTP's help to fix it. But when you know it, the thing that Lilith was holding was not a beacon, it was a tracking device. So then, Deucalion Atlas, or a hologram of Deucalion Atlas arrives, and basically tells Lilith to just let the professionals step in, and you'll get to keep the money and your lives and stuff like that. And then Tina just goes up and says she's the only one who can open the vault, and then tries to kill Lilith, but for some reason Lilith is supposed to survive and all that, and CL4PTP stays behind and celebrates, thinking that Lilith is dead and then I can go on, but then Lilith isn't dead, and so it needs to just go on with whatever and all that. So then they come across to an old Iridian village, and then it's revealed that the CL4PTP was programmed to that in Iridian was had programmed the CL4PTP to basically serve as Lilith's guide and helper and all that. Okay, so then, so Patricia, Tina, and Krieg all make it to the place where the vault is supposed to be, and so they put the key into. So then they insert the keys into the vault, and then Tina tries to open the vault, and nothing happens. She waits a little longer for something to happen, and nothing happens. Yeah, all that talk of Tina being the chosen one and the one who's supposed to open the vault was all just a lie. Okay, so then Roland comes and saves everyone, and then Commander Knox turns against Atlas and orders the Crimson Lance to stand down, and that she'll I forget what she said, but a bunch of unimportant stuff, and then Deucalion just kills her. Yeah, this moment reminds me of Uncharted, where Joe Braddock did the same thing to Santiago Moncada. Yeah, Borderlands is just... Yeah, the more I think about it, Borderlands is just a poor told version of Uncharted. The more I think about it, because think about it. Both scenes both movies have chase scenes. Both movies have a character, or both movies have a villain who's killed off immediately by the secondary villain, and then both movies are in search of this treasure. Yeah, the more you think about it, the more similarities there are between Uncharted and Borderlands. So anyway, Lilith and CL4PTP arrive and then teleport down, and then it's revealed that Lilith is the true daughter of Iridia. Okay, yeah, this moment was not foreshadowed well, okay? It was not foreshadowed well at all, because one of the moments that it was foreshadowed was when she found the key. But then Lilith says it's because of luck. And then the second moment was when... What... And then the second moment was when everyone teleported out of the elevator. And it's like we all thought Tina did it, because... All right. All right. So then Deucalion makes a deal with Lilith, saying that if Lilith opens the vault, she'll let everyone go, and Lilith proceeds to do that. But then something happens. She gains fiery wings, which resembles the Firehawk, who is supposedly the protector of Pandora. And Patricia says that she is the Firehawk, which... why? Why? Okay, so... bunch of unimportant stuff happens. A bunch of unimportant fighting happens. And then eventually Killian takes a hold of Tina and orders Lilith to open the vault, and does that. And now all three of them are in the Iridian Vault. And then Lilith just takes back Tina and takes away Deucalion's Atlas Insta Shield, and then some creature takes Deucalion and kills him, which I think that creature is supposed to be the Destroyer, which is the entity that you fight at the end of Borderlands. But it's like, we couldn't have... I mean, okay. Imagine how many people were disappointed to not see the Destroyer at the end. I mean, come on. I wanted to see the Destroyer. All of us wanted to see the Destroyer. Instead, you limited it to just have movie exclusives be the villains, have movie exclusives be the keys and all that. And yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think that this movie isn't supposed to be a Borderlands movie at all. The more I think about it, this movie barely has anything to do with Borderlands. Yeah. So anyways, the movie ends with Lilith flying into the sky with the wings of the Firehawk after Tina convinces her to. And then we get a mid-credit scene with CLTP doing the claptrap. And that's just basically a repeat of the Super Mario Brothers movie, where Bowser basically sings a reprise of his song Peaches. And so I've noticed some similarities with Jack Black's performances in video game movies. The things that he does. One, the performances are horrible, obviously. Two, the characters he plays sings at least once. And three, the characters have a mid-credit scene. So I know I said that earlier, but just for newer fans here, just for new viewers here on the channel, yeah. Okay, and then that's basically how the movie ends. So, what did I think about this movie? Well, I thought this movie was meh. Like, more than meh. It's bad, but at the same time, it tries to follow up to how the games are. Like, to be fair, the actual game is over 10 hours long, so trying to adapt that into a movie is kind of difficult if you think about it. So I know everyone tried their best to make this movie, but in the end, it just ended up being a complete pile of shit. Like, both the critics and the audiences hated it. I myself also hate this movie. My problems with the movie were the fact that it has poor writing. Some characters were replaced by movie exclusives. The villains were also replaced by movie exclusives. There are too many back characters that barely have anything to do with the movie, and then of course the poor casting choices. I didn't like the castings for CL4PTP, Tiny Tina, Krieg, and Patricia Tanis. Okay? In fact, some of those characters, you could have just taken those characters out in the movie and they wouldn't have, and it wouldn't have changed the movie at all. You know, just why couldn't the movie just be more like the game? You know? But of course, don't have the movie be too much like the game, because then it'd just be a repeated formula. It'd just be a revised version of the game. Well, yeah. Instead, I think it should have had kind of a balance. It should have had like a balance, you know, like Uncharted. Not too much like the games, and not too much where it's like it's telling its own story. So yeah, not too much on one side, not too much on other. There just needs to be balance in between. And then there you go. That's how a video game movie should be done. So yeah, that is my review for Borderlands. So I rate this movie a 1 out of 10. The only scene that I liked in this movie was with Marcus. That was the only thing I liked about this movie. Everything else was just a pile of shit. Okay, I would have given it a 0 out of 10 if it weren't Marcus. Okay, but at the same time, I probably would have rated it a 1 out of 10 for the opening sequence. But then again, the opening sequence was kind of shit since it kind of since there's kind of comedy in the opening. Yeah, you know what? The Marcus was the only thing I liked about this movie. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so 1 out of 10. Would not recommend watching it, especially if you're a huge hater of Jack Black. So yeah, thanks for watching my review for Borderlands. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And turn on notifications if you don't want to miss out on any future video game movie reviews like this. Share this video with others that you know and spread the word that this movie sucks. This movie sucks ass! And then, of course, like this video if you liked my thoughts on this movie and want to, and so forth, you know, because, or don't like it, it's your choice. I'm not forcing you to. Until then, this is Th0m4s575, and I will see you all in the next video.